Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up Larry Jones. Where y'all been? Where y'all been? I've been looking for y'all. Hey, listen, we got some gems for you. I got a guest. We just decided to do a pop up. I called my buddy and I said, hey, you know what? Let's just do a pop up. Let's not get, overly technical. We're just gonna talk about the market, talk about a few stocks, feed the people, and go from there. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. So hey, let's have some hearts as we bring in my man Stocks with Josh. Stocks with Josh. Go ahead and greet the people.
Hey, man. Well, I'm just thrilled to be on the show today. Thank you, Larry. Larry, we missed you yesterday, but I'm thrilled to be on here with you today. The family needs you. And, when we get together, Larry, you and I have had this experience over the years that whenever we come together and talk stocks, we find a way of making money. Whatever we
Always.
talk, if we talk for an hour and then we reflect back on the conversation, whatever stock stood out the most
Yep.
was the one that we thought, you know what, hey, let's get into that. So I'm excited about this conversation because I think it's going to be a money making conversation. And then today, Larry, we've got, we're going live here, and then we're gonna cover a handful of stocks, but then we're going to cover a handful more over on my page. And so it's going to be a great introduction for some folks from your page to my page, and then all my people. I want them to hit that subscribe. I let them know I was over here this morning.
Come on, come on. Look at all of the hearts in the chats. Come on, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get those hearts up. Josh's thing are the hearts, and my things are the coffee cups, which I have a coffee cup coming. Hey, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about why the market was down yesterday and why it's back up today, right? So we had GDP came out, so GDP is still good, right? Then we had jobs, low unemployment, right? Those two things are actually should be good, but it's bad for the Fed. So it spooked the market. And then we had some things that went on in Japan that actually spooked the market that had a reversal today. Josh, just briefly go over that.
Yeah, that's really interesting because, if we were paying attention to the billionaire investors like Warren Buffett, they actually gave us a shot over the head and pre-signaled that this was upcoming with Japan. So on my page, Larry, about a month ago, in passing, I mentioned that Warren Buffett was taking big positions in some Japanese companies. And,
Yeah.
and I actually heard of a couple other big investors taking positions in Japanese companies. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And I brought one of them to the family. It was ticker ITOCY. It's 5 letters, ITOCY. And that was the one that Warren Buffett loaded up on. Now, the
Yeah.
day that I talked about it, and that was like 3 weeks ago, it was $66, and it looked like it had been running up for a while, but it was up against sort of a wall of resistance. And you know what? Since then, if you go to look at ITOCY, Larry, it's jumped
Hmm.
all the way up to $81. And so
Yeah.
Warren was ahead of schedule. Now, here's what's happening with the Bank of Japan. So
Yeah.
they've turned around and they've made their bond yields more attractive. Japan had been under a blanket of deflation for decades. It was their economy had ramped up and become so super hot. The inflation had gotten out of control, and so they put a big they changed monetary policy and it backfired. And this shows you how important the job of the Fed is, because they fell into multi-decade long deflation, which some people will say, well, isn't that good? No, it crushes the economy. Everybody makes less money. People's pay goes down. It's really problematic, and we don't want to see that happen in the US. So, but now enough time has gone by and the monetary policies are coming together in such a way that their bonds are looking attractive. And here's how that's affecting the US. Here's Japan is for many years was the second largest economy in the world, directly after the U.S. And there's a ton of investment money in our bond market and in our stock exchange. And so the concern is that with this sign of life and this growth in Japan and what the banks are doing, that there could be the repatriation of investment dollars from the U.S. over back to Japan. And you know what? Look at that. Warren Buffett was beating him to it and putting his money out there in Japan. And so I think that was really what got the market spooked, was the idea of a hole being put into the stock exchange bucket, and us losing value and it being reinvested over in Japan. The economy might be coming back alive. So that's what I saw happening there, Larry.
Hey, that's cool. And so today, I talked with Josh yesterday because good friends check on good friends. I talked to Josh yesterday, and I told him that I believe that yesterday's reaction was an overreaction. Right, Josh. I said
Yes.
I believe it's an overreaction, meaning that it will be a green day today. Right. So I didn't go live yesterday. I was still a little pissed, and I didn't go live yesterday, and I didn't post a video yesterday. I just traded. I just took some time off, traded, got out of bed late for a day, because usually we're up so early. And we talked about a few stocks. Let's get into a few stocks. All right. Hey, I love you guys too. I appreciate you guys saying you love me. Hey, I appreciate it. And I know that we, the positive people that make money, far, 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 far outweigh the knuckleheads. Okay. But every now and then, it does get to you. All right. So we talked about. Let's talk about Google, Neo, Tesla, and Mara. Right. So I tell you what, Josh. You start out with Mara, and then I'm gonna do Google, and then you piggyback on Google. Okay. So start out with Mara, Josh. What do you have?
Okay, well, so the bottom line is that Mara it moves ahead of or in advance of Bitcoin. So basically, if Bitcoin is moving, if it appears to be moving up technically, Mara will run up. If Bitcoin appears to be moving down, Mara will move sideways and it'll bleed off and go down. So I like to keep things simple and clear here. I know that people get excited about a move. Tons of people made money. We made money on Mara, and it was really exciting. Now, I had told everybody at the time that $20 was going to be like a brick wall, and Mara was moving like a fast car. And, maybe you guys have seen those videos on TikTok where they show a car hitting a wall at 50 miles an hour, at 100 miles an hour, at 200 miles an hour. And basically, the faster they get, they basically turn into a small little box at that speed. And that's a little bit of my visual for Mara. It was going fast up, but the wall was $20 and Bitcoin's cooled off. Now, I am watching Bitcoin and I cannot tell you, I don't have a crystal ball to tell you that Bitcoin is going to do X or Y this coming week. But at the moment, it's cooling off and it's testing the bottom of the range. It went as low as 18,900. And if you remember, I gave the prediction that the bottom of the range was 18,500, and we could still come to the bottom of that range. Now, I'll even go one step further. We could actually dip into the 27,000 range if we want to have a little bit of momentum to the downside before we go back up and test the top of the range on Bitcoin at 31,000. So here's the impact that would have on the miners: Mara, Riot, Hive, all of them, Clean
Yes.
Spark. It's, we're going to see if we do come further down to test the bottom of the range on Bitcoin to at least 28.5, if not 27, then Mara is going to come down as well. And it's, and so here's the two price points I'm going to give you.
All of
Mara,
them are going to come down. All of the mining companies will
right.
come down. I just want to keep that Clean Spark, Hut, you name it. They're all going to come down. Go ahead, Josh.
Absolutely. So the supports that I'm watching, and I'm going to tell you guys, we've been down this road before. I called this correctly the last time. I told everybody support the last time, and we hit them. So what's the support this time as we're in a slow bleed? $15.50 is a minimum level of support for Mara. So if we came down to 28.5, it should hit 15.50, right? Larry, can you look up where it's at right now?
Yes, absolutely.
And then the next target underneath that is $12. And now that I can't guarantee you, but I'll tell you, if we had a day in which we dipped beneath 28K and into the high 27,000 range, I guarantee you that Mara would flash down to $12. And anybody with the foresight to be patient and to wait, remember, the words Fed. If you guys saw my Barbie Fed video yesterday, it was about it was about being patient. The Fed said, I got to be patient. I got to wait to see the data. If we get that dip below 28, which again, I'm not predicting, I'm just telling you that that is possible, Mara will hit 12, even though it seems hard to imagine. But at bare minimum, if we continue to move sideways, Mara will hit 1550, and that would be an entry. But the
Did you
absolute
see
most,
where it is now, Josh?
yeah, 1654. So I can tell you that yeah, if we have a rough weekend with Bitcoin, make no mistake about it, Mara will hit 1550. And if it gets ugly, then Mara will hit 12. And you know what? So you could start a position at 1550, or you could be super patient. If you're too patient, sometimes you can get
Yep.
greedy that way. But
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you that that's the range of buying. Now, don't
Right.
buy. You guys, I can't tell you how many people tell me in the comment section, Larry, and I know you'll appreciate this one. People will say when Mara was running up to $19 and they hear us talk about it, that we just made money, they're like, oh, this is great. I loaded it up. I loaded up at $19. That's when Larry and I were selling above 19, between
Yes.
19 and 20. So
Yes.
listen, you've got to load on the ugly days. And if we get an ugly moment for Bitcoin and we get an ugly moment for this market and we get between 1550 and 12, that's when you buy, because that's when I will be, that's where I'm buying. You
Hey,
do what you
Josh,
do.
I'm going to show the people something. This is going to be lightning round, okay? I'm going to
Yeah.
show the people something because of what you just said. You got to buy on the ugly days, right? You just said that, right?
Yes, sir.
And so, look, this this was this was a day before yesterday, right? I'm sorry, this was yesterday. I got into some positions, and as you could see, they started to tank, right? I didn't fret. So, and then if you look here, this is how it was. I entered into some Google. We're going to talk about that later. I entered into Tesla. I entered into Neo. You see, they were all red after I bought, because a lot of times what happens, I buy, but I bought too early. Most people that don't do options will buy too early, right? Then, as you can see, they started to rebound, but it closed the day, right? As of now, I sold out all of those positions green, and as you could see, I'm up $79. 79, I'm up almost $8,000 today, right? And so that is not to brag. That is, we're here to teach you guys that on the red days. Why did I do that, Larry? Because I told Josh that I believe that that was an overreaction, what happened to the market yesterday, based on the news that we already had, right? It was an overreaction. So just like Josh says, buy on the red days if you think it's going to be the reversal. It's difficult to do, but that's when I make the most money, right? Go ahead and add to that, Josh, and then we'll get to Google.
Well, I just want to say something. Larry is the real deal. Him and I are friends apart from YouTube. We've got long, multi-decade history together. We've been through things, in journeys, experiences with other people. And I'm going to tell you that Larry is the real deal. He's a gifted momentum trader. Any of us would be privileged to sit alongside him in the morning. I don't know that it's his forte to necessarily articulate everything that's inside of his mind when he identifies a movement, because it's probably complex, it's instinctual, but he's the real deal. And it's funny, he take a day off yesterday because he got a little bit heated with some with some comments,
Hey, Josh,
because
I was pissed. But go ahead, I'm joking.
yeah, and all he did was make way more money, just focusing on his trades than anything that would relate to being on YouTube, and so I just want to make that very, very clear. People look and people appreciate my technical guidance. I'm over here knowing and talking with Larry every day and appreciating the stocks that he finds and the momentum trades that he gets into. They're very, very powerful. Now, you might love him. So that whole I'm pissed video came out of a guy that said, why didn't you tell me to buy Neo? Why didn't you get on the YouTube and say, buy Neo, buy Neo, buy Neo, right? That's not his job. That's not
Right.
why he's here. That's not what he's mentoring the community over. You have to listen and learn and try to pick up the skill sets that he's laying. I'm gonna just mention his class. He's got his psychology in that class. I put in some basic charting classes that are a great foundation. That's why he's here. And you know what? We do our best to say, hey, this is something I'm getting into. I don't feel comfortable coming on here and telling 20, 30,000 people, yeah, go spend your money this way. That's not what this is about. So that's all I had to say. Sorry, Larry.
That's okay. Hey, I love you guys too. I really do. That's why we do what we do. Did I say that right? I sound like that that song. Hey, let's talk about Google. Let me put it in the window so I don't have to let's see here. What am I doing? Did I do that right? There we go. Okay, I'm just trying to make it so we can both be up.
No
There
problem.
we go.
Can I run with Google real quick?
Yeah, you before you run with Google, let me talk about Google for a
Go
minute, and
ahead.
then you can go with Google. So Google, Guggenheimer raised Alphabet's price. For those of you that don't know, Alphabet is Google. It raised its target price. Right? These are the fundamentals, and Josh is going to give you the technicals. Okay, so they raised Alphabet, which is Google's, they raised their target price to what? They raised it to 150 from 120, right? So I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I can see you trying to see where it is, Josh. Forgive me for that. And there we go. So they raised the price target from 120 to 150, right? And as you guys know, Google did well on the earnings, right? And so Google did well on the earnings. So of course, they're going to raise the price target. And I believe it was justified after the earnings. So that's why I entered into the Google Play. And one of my best performers on yesterday was Google. Not only did I, just like I said I was going to do in my video, not only did I add more Google to my DCA, right? I added more Google to that, but I also did a Google option. Now let's talk about the charts as it pertains to Google. Josh?
Yeah, so here's what I want to share. One thing, Google has had a very interesting performance pattern, and I've tried to draw it out so that everybody can see what I see in the chart. And what I saw was that we came up and we peaked, we created a plateau, and it looked like sideways price action that was slowly bleeding off. That's actually not bearish. That's actually bullish. When you see the candles run up and then plateau and go sideways, that simply means it's consolidating, and eventually it does this classic fake out move to the downside after it had struggled with around the $125 mark for a long time. And then we tried one time at 129, then we shot right through it on this positive earnings. And I have been saying on this channel for well over a month that was going to be the outcome. But here's what's important. That's the past. The last video I did about Google, I told everybody that I was not taking profit, even though I had a suspicion that it could come back and backtest 125 because that was possible. And I put my stop loss in. I think it was at 128. But here's the bottom line. It's holding up. It's performing well. And I think that that we are going to hold this line. This was a perfect example of not taking profits too early and putting a stop loss in. Now I'm just going to segue a comment. It's the opposite of what happened with APLD. I put in a stop loss at 910 and I got kicked this morning. And so it didn't play out.
Stick with APLD for a second and tell
Well,
the
I
people.
want to wrap up this point on Google because this is the point I'm making about Google in regards to what I do with APLD.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
And then when you leave Google, spend like a minute and a half on APLD because someone asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we were going to discuss that one on my show, Larry. Here.
Okay. Well, that's what we'll do then. We'll discuss.
They're going to have to come back for APLD. But here's my point. APLD, I had the discipline to set a stop loss at $9.10 because I was wanting to see whether or not APLD was going to go into a larger move up right now, and it didn't. Okay, that's how that played out. But I also had the discipline to set a stop loss and not take profits on Google, but it worked for Google. Google's actually running higher and it's staying up above in the 130s, and now I'm in it, which is fabulous. I didn't cash out too early, and I'm going to tell you guys that I see a clear path all the way up to $143. Now, there's going to be struggle to Google along the way. It's going to have a hard time breaking through 136, 137. But I do see that now that we've stayed above 130, this is a confirmation that we might be sort of breaking out. And here's the issue is that you remember that long plateau? It trained everybody to be fearful. Every time it dipped and failed to break higher, it got it inside your mind, that it's going to do it again, right?
Right.
But when the market fakes you out and it stays up above 130 and then moves to 140 and it leaves you behind, that's why we had the discipline to work with a stop loss and stay in it. And right now it's working.
Yep. So now we're going to keep our answers shorter because I got a lot I want to cover now. We're already 21 minutes in. All right.
Okay.
Because we're going to, for everyone that's listening, we're going to take a short break and then we're all going to meet over on Josh's page. So this is a pop-up party that's going to help you guys earn money. Why are we doing this? Because we love you guys. I'm not trading today, which I could be making money. But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be 100% fulfilled if you guys weren't making money either, okay? And neither would Josh. We're the real deal, all right? So, what did I want to say? Okay, let's talk about NEO really, really quick, all right? Let's talk about NEO. As you guys saw, I entered into some NEO calls. I actually entered into 3 NEO calls, made money on all of them. Chinese ADRs are doing well. The Chinese government, the Chinese President Xi is going to do a stimulus package, right? That's what he's doing. He's trying to stimulate the economy because he simply does not want to look bad, right? And so just like I pointed out in my video earlier this week, I believe Monday, Tuesday, it was the path of least resistance. It was an easier play for me than even playing earnings. So I looked at BABA and NEO, which I made money in both, but NEO was the stronger of all of the Chinese ADR in this time frame for me. Josh, 2 minutes, NEO.
Well, yeah, so I covered NEO in yesterday's video, the Fed Barbie video that I did. I covered NEO.
That video was hilarious. The open, y'all got to see the open of that video. Hilarious. Go ahead, Josh.
When I made it, I thought to myself when I was getting ready to post it, I thought, what am I doing? I guess having a little bit of fun. That's what we're trying to do and make some money. All right, guys. So NEO and BABA, and I specifically commented on NEO that we have this descending line of resistance that we have yet to come up against. And I think that we will. Now, we've run up to $14 and we could continue to thrust higher and go anywhere from 14 to what I had said I think was right below 16. It was 1580. But we can also cool off, move sideways, and in 2 weeks, thrust up to touch that. Now, that's how I wanted to kind of touch on NEO today, because I want to say the same thing I said to you guys before, which is people have been waiting for NEO to get back to the $15, $14, $20 range, because a lot of people got into it at that level. And then when it gets up, let's say you got in at $15 and it gets up to 14, and then it begins to fall back and you think, oh no, I can't hold this thing all the way back to $8 and maybe even lower. Guys, you have to flip the storyline here, because NEO went down on its lows, right? It tested its lows, it went sideways, and now it's in sort of a rebuilding phase. The stock is slowly rebuilding its way up. Do I know for a fact that it's only up from here? No, but I'm going to tell you guys that right now we're seeing fabulous price action. We've broken out of the lows. 950 was a massive barrier to break through. 1350, 950 and 1150 were both huge barriers to break through. And so don't sell too early, because I think that even if we were to fade away from the $14 mark and come back even as low as 11.50, I think that we would bounce and come back up and retest 14. Ultimately, we're going to come in contact with that line. And so don't panic sell your NEO if you have held and bought at 40, 30, 20, $15. It's not time to panic sell your NEO on a little pop. That's my best advice
Right.
I can give you guys
Right.
today.
Now, with the exception of Neo, someone asked, should I sell? And I always say, someone commented, and you're right, never ever ask permission to sell in profit, right? So if you're never ever feel like you need permission to take profits, right? And so someone asked, should I sell in the middle of the day? If he's up, good. I guess you're good. And if you're up good and it's Friday and you think that it may have a reversal at closing bell, then take profits, because nobody could take those profits from you, right? And I want to address one of the comments. Some here, we have a few haters here. We're blocking those. Um, um, that says I never show the losses. I show big losses on this for
Yes, you
people
have.
that follow me. I
Yes,
show the losses all. I literally just showed you the losses from yesterday, but I held on because of what was going on, and the losses wind up being wins, right? So I do show the losses, but the truth of the matter is I don't have a lot of losses, and Josh will tell you I don't, in comparisons to my wins, because I don't trade every day. I don't try to force the market. I limit my risk, right? And then I put my stop losses in, and then I make sure that I don't go. Do I have losses? Yes. I showed you guys I believe it was $166,000 loss in crypto. Didn't I show that? I've showed that many times in crypto from the last cycle. So I show the losses, if for those that are true fans and that watch me and not coming over for the mess. But what we're gonna do is just block you knuckleheads, because I'm gonna say this, and then we'll get back to a few stocks. I'm gonna say this. There are people on this platform, including ourselves, that are outperforming hedge funds. There are people that follow us that have hedge funds managing their money. I know this for a fact because I get the emails. And the two of us are outperforming some of these hedge funds. I also know that my first investment was in 92, right? And to get the type of information that we give you guys for free, you had to pay $10,000 in the 80s and the 90s for these courses that you would not even understand 90% of what they were saying. We are giving this stuff to you guys for free because Josh and myself, Keenan Grace and Mo, the core four, we want you guys to make money. That's it. That's it. We want you guys to make money. So, having said that, so I can stay on this platform and get unpissed, I want you guys to help to keep the page clean. If you see any negativity, let's keep our house clean. Let's make a deal. You guys help to keep the house clean. I will help to put money in your accounts. And that's why we launched Josh. Me and Josh was talking about him getting started. That's why we launched Josh. That's why I brought you guys are gonna laugh, but Josh didn't want to do this publicly. Josh was an excellent trader by himself. And I said, Josh, you belong on YouTube because people can profit from you. And I'm here to tell you, you can call this braggadocious or whatever. Josh and I both give God all the glory, number one. But Josh is the best technical analyst out there. I dare you to find one better. And for everyone that's watching this page, I am going to put a link on here. But before that, you literally can go to Stocks with Josh. Stocks with Josh. And I dare you to find a better technical analyst. This dude is the real deal. And in his heart of hearts is so that you also prosper. And this is the season. The greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world is happening right now. We don't want to just get it all. We want all of you to get it all. And so we're asking you guys to help us to keep all this negativity out of the way and all this trash out of the way, our pages are some of the most positive pages on YouTube. And I want to keep it that way, okay? All right. So let's keep it going, Josh. Let's talk about Tesla. Go, you take
Right.
it from there.
Okay, well, Tesla, all right, so let's talk about Tesla. And I thought a lot about this conversation on Tesla this morning, Larry, because we talked about talking about it last night. So we're in a range. I identified it correctly like a week ago, and I said that we're in a new trade range between 260 on the low end and 290 on the high end, right? And so we're still in that trade range. Now, we did an initial run up to around 272, and we then faded back off to come back and see how 260 would hold. We came down this morning, I think, to 262. Larry, you can maybe pop up the chart so I can talk about it. But the bottom line is that if 260 holds, then we're going to go back up and we're going to test 290. There's going to be, after this massive run up, before the direction gets permanently defined, there's going to be a tug of war between the bulls and the bears. So don't think just because we stopped running up at 299 that somehow now it's back down to the gutter. We're up at the top of the trade range and we're going to vacillate in it. Sometimes people call that distribution. It's sort of an exchange back and forth. Maybe the hedge funds, the big investment funds are unloading every time it moves back up to the top of the range. And when people like me, technicals traders, identify that the volume is high at the top and low at the bottom, then I go, okay, yeah, we're done moving up and we are in distribution. That's not been determined yet. So the next point of time in which the final run up for Tesla will be sort of determined for like what the trend will be for the next 3 months or 4 months. That's going to be when we come back and interact with 290. Now, at the same time, we're in a spot where Tesla can be volatile. The last time we were trying to the last time we went through this a number of months back in the previous earnings cycle, we had that huge sell-off all the way down to 153. A lot of people did not expect it to get that low. And so similarly, I see that if we do break 260, then 245 is absolutely going to happen. And I've noticed that Tesla, it'll hit it quickly. It won't take a time to bleed down to 245. It'll get there very, very quickly. And then we'll have to see if 245 holds. It could even dip as low as 235. I'm not predicting that because I can't, because we're above 260. And if 260 holds right now, 290 will be the other side of the range that we will go back and test. It's only if 260 gets closed on the daily candlestick chart that I'm going to then imagine that we're going to have to go and test the lower range, which I'm defining as between 245 and 235. Right now, I think that we're potentially in an upswing.
That's great, man. That's great. Hey, what do you think about AI right now, Josh? What do you think about AI? I know you covered APLD. How about ticker symbol AI, AIC3? Where do you think AI is going in this short range, just off the top of your dome?
Well, I want to cover AI more in depth, Larry, when I get over onto my page video, but I will give you an overview. What we're seeing with AI stocks is sort of what we saw with Google. Okay. So if you guys have a visual of the Google chart, it had a run up and then it went sideways for quite a while. Now, if you guys take a look and you consider C3AI, APLD, and Sound, and I know some people will be like, no, Josh, Sound is dropping to the gutter. Sound's down right now. Don't include
I want
that.
I want you to cover Sound. Take 30 seconds and cover Sound.
I'm going to cover Sound on my page, Larry. We're going to cover AI on my page.
Do you guys hear that? He's going to cover Sound on his page, and I'm going to join him over there. Hey, before you go ahead. Finish first.
I wanted to answer your question of what I see happening with the AI stocks. I want to give a global answer. The global answer is that they are really just moving sideways. So we had an initial run up on APLD, C3AI, and Sound, and now we are vacillating in a sideways price action, and that could mean that we're going to get another leg up. So I would say that nothing's changed with the AI narrative. Some of these went up 400%, and now they're being digested. So nothing is out of play with those stocks I mentioned.
Hey, Josh, my good friend Renee here has a question about TSM. I haven't been covering it or following it. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Let me just pull up the chart real quick. I think that I really would love to cover those as a group. Give me 1 second. That's an interesting play. Let me get the chart up. The question is, what is the political environment around, them? I mean, what is going to happen with them as what's happening with the China and Taiwan? I mean, that's really my concern. The chart's completely bullish. We've been moving up ever since October. So off of the October lows, the trend has been straight up. If AI continues to perform, it's going to hit a wall. Well, it really hit a wall at $108. If we come back up and retest and re-break through that wall, then we will absolutely shoot to the top of that trade range, which is $126. So right now it is 108. That's the wall that we got to come over. So I think it's going to test it. I mean, this is again an experience-driven comment. We came up with a bullish chart to an area of resistance where it got rejected. It's going to pull back and make another run for the 108 level. And I gave this analogy, Larry, in my video a couple days ago. I said it's kind of like a SWAT team trying to break down a door. So what do they have to do? If they hit it and it doesn't open, they got to step a few steps back and make another charge to hit it again to see if they can break through, right? So there's a huge group of sellers at 108 that got stuck there, and they're now waiting to get their money for whatever reason. Even if TSM is going to go higher, they need their money. They've been sitting on it for a year. Maybe there's a hotter stock they want to put it in. So the market, we ran up to 108. The SWAT team of buyers has taken 3 steps back, and now they've making another run. And when they knock through 108, like I just told you, it's a $125 stock.
Yep. All right, Josh, talk about Moo in the class. I'm going to say something, and then we're in it, and then we'll meet on your page.
Absolutely. Right now there's a good offer from the affiliate, the Moo investment app. I use it because I love their earnings calendar. It's earnings season, and I have not found a better way of keeping track of earnings. And once the earnings actually get posted, they give you an overview. If you're new and you don't have it, they give you up to 16 free stocks. They give you a cash bonus of $50. And so I've enjoyed the app. It's a great community. I think it's actually the best retail app for getting data and news. Yep. And these, things like the financial reports as well as the earnings calendar. They're beating all the other apps in those categories.
Go to the class.
Yeah, and so Larry's got a class on his page, and I participated in it, and so did Keenan, as well as a couple other fine YouTubers. I did 5 chapters on charting, and Larry did a number of classes on laying a foundation, as well as psychology trading. Keenan did a wonderful overview of options, and so this is a good foundation. If you need that foundation and you're struggling and you need to better understand some of these basics, in my mind, this is an absolute foundation layer.
Hey, I appreciate that. And I'm going to just address one comment. It says, Larry seems kind of agitated. And I apologize. I made the video. To be honest with you, I was still my blood was boiling. I think my blood pressure was high yesterday. And I do because you have to have tough skin to do this. With 600,000 followers, it's a lot to stay focused. And then when you go, you guys know all this year I've helped to make thousands of people a lot of money. Now there are some, and I even told someone that left a comment on my page, hey Larry, I only watch you. I've made so much money. I only watch you. And Josh, I said to them, please don't do that. You're doing yourself a disjustice, because there's stock that stocks what Josh is talking about and Keenan Grace is talking about and all of these others are talking about that I'm not talking about, right? And I'm talking about stocks that none of them are talking about. And I'm showing you ways to make money like nobody else is. Josh is showing you ways to make money like nobody else is. Other influencers are showing you ways to make money like no one else is. Just remember, the S&P 500 literally means that there's over 500 companies in it, right? There's over 10,000 crypto. So just know, let's not, I don't want you guys to just eat from my table, and Josh got a full table spread for you too. I want you guys to win from both of us. I want everyone that is listening to me to subscribe to Stocks with Josh. Just read the comments. You'll see. Just read the comments on my page. You'll see. We are the real deal. I've been doing this for 3 years. Haven't taken a vacation. When I'm traveling, I do this. Why? Because I, in my heart of hearts, want you to prosper, and so does Josh. Josh, what do you have to say in closing, and let the people know when and how we could continue this on your page?
Well, all right. Thank you, Larry. One, I got a question from the chat group over on the Moomoo app this morning, and I promised them that I would ask you when we're on our live together. People want to know what the meet and greet schedule is going to be like, Larry, in the rest of this year and going into next year. So I'm gonna put you on the spot and shed some light on that, because I want to do this with Larry. I enjoy working with him. There's even the conversation, we might be able to pull in Keenan and Mo, but I know that you and I are going to do some meet and greets, Larry. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we're going to do some meet and greets. As a matter of fact, I was just out of my own pocket, was just putting together a 5-city tour with myself and Josh. I'm going to just invite you. I'm trying to do it like in kind of a week span. So we're just going to fly from city to city. It's just going to be, I'm funded it myself. I don't even want a backer on this. I just want to do this myself. And we're going to do something with the core 4. I just want to find some coffee houses in these cities and just meet and greet with you guys. Not a big stage or whatever. Just rub elbows with you guys, love on you guys, pour into you guys, answer some questions, and just take some pictures. I want to do that. I want to hit at least 5 to 7 cities between now and the end of the year. And so I'm going to do that out of my own pocket, because we are the real deal. We understand the urgency of this greatest transfer of wealth. There is a time where the door will close, and we want you guys to win, right? Josh, how can
Larry, did I just invite myself on your?
You did. You did. See, this is the way he's going to invite himself to the
All
picnic.
right. Well, no, I just wanted to keep the positive energy up. I see occasionally we get bad comments, and really it's just like oil. You got to they're just rolling off our backs, because there's so many more positive comments. I was noticing, Larry, in the chat, a lot of people, we mentioned the class, a lot of people were saying, love it, learning. It's awesome. So I understand that, maybe not for everybody. Someone asked, is it free? It is not free. That course has a cost associated with it. Larry put a ton of time into those. And you know what? In my view, I don't know anybody's finances. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. That is a huge amount of work and hours of teaching and editing. I can't speak to Larry's part, but I can speak to my part. I had to really, really spend some time thinking about how could I get these ideas across to you guys. And so, there's a value to that. And so, anyways, we're going to keep it positive. Larry, I know someone said in the comment that, they could sense that you were a little upset in your voice. I said that to Larry yesterday. We were talking and I was like,
that's true. He did.
I was like, dude, put everything aside. You're still upset, man. You're still upset. Are we going to get an I'm Pissed 3 coming soon? You guys might if but I just want to thank you personally for your show. I enjoy your show. I watch your show. You're an amazing momentum trader. And I'm picking up the things that you're laying down. Plus, you have a heart for people, and that's really what's being expressed. Is because when you get those comments that frustrate you, it is literally just a distraction and taking you away from what you're trying to do, which is to build up a community of people so they can make money. If you go to both of those I'm Pissed videos, it's really about the thing that we saw in Keenan Grace's video the other day, where, he's talking about this guy who's yelling at these guys sitting in chairs in front of him.
Yes.
30 years he worked for this company, and they basically told him, yeah, you're not going to get a pension. So,
Yes.
these messages are, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm okay. Financially, I'm set. I could not trade. I could lose my entire trading account, my 401k, and everything. And I've got a well established company that my son runs that would pay all my bills. I don't have financial worries. But I can tell you that when Larry said on his page, he said, guys, if you're planning your entire life around making $1,800 from Social Security, that's if you even get it. When he
Yeah.
said that, I took a step back and I thought, wow, $1,800. What would that look like? What would that look like in my life? And so I'm telling you that one of the driving factors for Larry and I getting on this show is to help people get set free. Stop trading your time for money, because time
Yes.
is infinitely more valuable than money. And I'm just going to
Yeah.
leave it right there, Larry. Thank you for letting
You
me be on the show today.
that you make a great point. And you know what else that is crazy about this rat race that they have us in? We're chasing this $1,800 pension, right? And then if you literally sell a piece of candy and make a nickel over that, over what they're paying you, they penalize you. Why do they do that? They don't want you to rise above where you are. That's it.
No.
Well, we'll continue that later. Hey, you guys, in closing, I want you to make sure everyone, everyone that is, I'm in the wrong thing now. Did I do that? Everyone, oh yeah, let's go here. Everyone that has the class, please don't just go to one segment. Listen, if you go back and watch this segment, it's going to help you with this segment. If you go and if you want to just, hey, I just want to learn options, I'm telling you, take this course first and then go here. As a matter of fact, take it in chronological order. I put a lot of time in trying to make it to where everyone can understand, okay? My theory is talk to me like I'm three. And so I want you guys to be better traders, because you're going to make a pile of money. You're going to make more money. And the quicker, not the quicker, but the better you learn these skills, the more money you will make. Hey, come join us. Make sure you got those notification bell checks. And come join us on Stocks with Josh's page. I know I'm a little tongue twisted today, but join us. I feel better that I talked to you guys. I love you guys. I feel better that I did this, Josh. And I feel the love from the people. Like, forget the haters. I feel the love for the people. And I tell you what, Josh, just so we can pour into people, let's go in this right now and give us a few minutes, good people. And we will be posting again on Stocks with Josh's page. Josh, tell them what you're going to be covering over there.
Well, I'm going to get into depth on Sound, SOUNAI. I'm going to get into depth on APLD. I'm going to be talking about Amazon, which I'm going to tell you, don't be sleeping on Amazon. I'm going to be looking at Microsoft briefly, and then specifically for Mags over in the Moo chat. They said, Josh, let me hear about Disney. And so I think that's going to be an intriguing conversation, because Larry and I are going to let Disney out of the bag.
All right.
I can't wait to get Larry's reaction on that conversation. So, as well as a handful of others, I'm going to lightning round some stocks there. So, we're going to get into it here soon.
Okay. Hey, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And more than that, not more than that, equally as important, we want you guys to make money. When we travel all over the world, I travel all over the world. I can't tell you how many people see me and tell me how much better they're doing in the market, or some of them just getting in the market. All right. Meet us over there at Stocks with Josh's page. Make sure you download the Moo link, get it funded today. Make sure you come over to the class. Josh and I are going to have a conversation on making the class even better, adding some more chapters, and we're going to add, I'm going to add a crypto chapter to it at no extra cost. Okay, so the price will be going up later this year, but I want to pack it full of information first. So get over there, get that class, get it downloaded, and we'll see you over at Stocks with Josh's page. This was a pop-up party, and the party's going to continue at Stocks with Josh's page. Make sure everyone goes over there, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. Let's make sure that he is above 100,000 before this year ends. Okay, love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn.